Well, thank you, Piero, and thank you for the opportunity to talk about the art park at the Albany Bulb. As Piero mentioned, my name is Susan Moffat. I run an interdisciplinary program here at UC Berkeley that studies global cities by bringing together faculty and artists and practitioners from architecture, landscape architecture, city planning, and gets them together with folks from the arts and humanities, because we think that cities are such complex places that the only way to understand them is through interdisciplinary means. So that's what my day job is. My weekends and nights are spent obsessed with this landfill known as the Albany Bulb, which actually has taught me a lot about why we need multidisciplinary approaches to understanding cities, because this is a particular spot at the urban edge that teaches us a lot about the relationship between humans and nature, and teaches us a lot about relationships among humans as well. So I'm just going to tell you where we're talking about. So the blue dot is campus, and about 4 miles northwest of here is the Albany Bulb. So here's the story of what it has been and what we hope it might be. So once upon a time, there was a beautiful bay. And for many decades, people used it as a giant garbage can. They dumped tons and tons of waste into the water in order to make land. And in the town of Albany, starting in 1963, a finger of garbage gradually poked into the bay until it stuck out a mile into the water by the time the landfill closed in 1983. The shape of the landfill was kind of bulbous, so people called it the Albany Bulb. Actually, it's not made of garbage. It's made of construction debris, the durable detritus that comes from the making and breaking of cities. So at the Bulb, you can see chunks of highways and houses, and pieces of chimneys and broken up factories. Nature has made the rubble beautiful by covering it with wildflowers and giant trees. And people have made it beautiful by uncovering the rebar and the rubble, and by pulling monsters out of the landscape. They've decorated and reshaped the debris, making it human. People work together on this, and sometimes alone. And they take advantage of the forces of nature. And they also take advantage of humor. One artist made a 2-ton Rubik's Cube, but then somebody else decided to solve it with a coat of paint. The Bulb is a place with many authors who speak to each other through their work over time, though they've never met. For the past 25 years, it's been a homemade park, designed and built by the people who use it. The artists, the dog walkers, the bird watchers, the kiteboarders, and the people who lived here off and on until they were evicted in 2014.
For 15 years, they lived there, or maybe longer.
For a long time, yeah. Some people lived there off and on for 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah, and some people, when they were evicted, had lived there about 7 years continuously. The trails at the Bulb were built by the people who used them, not by landscape architects or park planners. Several residents built a library that was filled with books and was home to poetry readings. People turned an area that had collapsed into a flat-bottomed bowl into an amphitheater for gatherings. There are not one, but 2 labyrinths at the Bulb. People made sculptures and paintings for the public to enjoy. And they made many shrines and memorials for private memories. Now the Albany Bulb, which is owned by the City of Albany, is becoming part of the McLaughlin East Shore State Park, which stretches from Emeryville to Richmond. The park was approved in 2002 and plans are being implemented bit by bit. Last year, the City of Albany asked the East Bay Regional Park District to take over maintenance of the bulb. The transfer will be a gradual process. There are plans for trails and benches and trash cans and vegetation management. It's good that more attention is being paid to this special place, but many of us who love the bulb don't want it to turn into just another conventional park. We think there's an extraordinary opportunity to recognize the unique sense of place here, something that never could have been planned or designed by a single hand, but that has evolved through the conscious and unconscious collaboration of thousands of people, animals, and plants. We want to nurture the wild and creative nature of the bulb so that future generations have a chance to play and to explore the way we have. We want to preserve this endangered habitat for art, a habitat that used to stretch from the Emeryville mudflats all along the eastern edge of the bay in the 60s and 70s. We want to protect its traditions of sculpture and of Shakespeare. This is The Tempest, performed by the theater group called We Players in 2006. They want to come back, and we hope to bring them back. We want to continue the tradition of outdoor music of many kinds, and of games and play for free-range children and adults. We want this to be a new kind of park where the signs don't say, don't do this or do that, but rather say, do make art, do plant native wildflowers, do sing and dance, and do play with nature, not just observe it at a distance. There are other parks in the world that operate like this. The Adventure Playground at the Berkeley waterfront, you may know. It's where children get dirty and build things. For years, many people have called the Albany Bulb an adventure playground for adults. We like that idea. This is Tempelhof Field in Berlin, where citizens turned an abandoned airport into a park where people could play on the runways and make outdoor art galleries along the tarmac and community gardens at its edges. Socrates Sculpture Park in New York is where the sculptor Marc de Souveraud turned a vacant waterfront industrial lot into a park with the help of local residents. At Socrates, artists build temporary sculptures along the Queens waterfront with the help of ordinary people. Artists make giant rings of flowers to attract bees from beehives inserted in pianos that are amplified into acoustic art.
Yeah, lovely.
Of course, Burning Man is where thousands of people make art on a big scale on public land. By contrast, the Chance Ecologies project in Brooklyn and Queens is more intimate, letting artists work out of outdoor studios along a post-industrial waterfront where nature is taking over. Participatory art and research helps people understand pollution and resilience and the impact of humans on the land. In Pordenone, in northern Italy, derelict parks have been revitalized by a biennial Art in Nature festival that draws artists from around the world. In San Francisco, Recology has artist residencies at a recycling center where creative people transform garbage into art. And the Headlands Institute in Marin County hosts artist residencies amidst the green landscapes of the Golden Gate Natural Recreation Area. So, inspired by the bulb itself and by projects like these around the world, for the past several years, I and a group of artists and citizens have been conducting pilot projects at the Albany Bulb. We've been building seating for our events out of driftwood, making music, including music designed to interact with and inspire the art making, so that percussion and voice and rocks and plants come together to illuminate something new. We use movement in our bodies to measure and comprehend the space in a way that is different from passive observation. We hope to invite world-class artists like Andy Goldsworthy to the Bulb to use it as their canvas. Here is his spire at the Presidio. Both national parks and city parks are increasingly incorporating groundbreaking artists in their programming. We think that many well-known artists, both visual artists and social practice artists, would be fascinated with the possibilities of the Bulb. But we also think ordinary people are artists too. Robert Smithson made amazing marks on the landscape. And so do we. Christo defines space with his work. And so do we. We've been mapping the space with the people who know it best. We've been measuring and recording natural systems and making apps and exhibitions. This was the Refuge and Refuse exhibition on the Bulb, curated by Robin Lasser at the Some Arts Gallery in San Francisco in 2015. UC Berkeley students have conducted archaeological research at the Bulb, which led to maps which the researchers identify as art as well as science. We want to do all this in a bigger way as an official art park and research station that will define a new kind of park, where temporary installations reveal the landscape, where artists, scientists, and citizens work together both to investigate and communicate about nature, and where theatrical performances help people listen to the land and to each other. For years, the Bulb has been a crowdsourced, homemade, handmade park. I hope you'll bring us ideas and participate in making it even better. Thank you.